Okay, so listen. First of all, ignore my house. We're moving. My house is a mess. I'm a mess. I'm up. It's the middle of the night. It's like 1 o'clock in the morning, and this is my fifth time watching ENCANTO, and I'm bursting at the seams. So I don't even have time or energy to fix all of this in order to record this video. If you want to see me looking fly, go to one of my other videos and see me all dolled up. Okay, this is me at night watching my new amazing favorite movie. All right. Also, like and subscribe while you're at it. What is Mirabel's gift? I have so many ideas, and I want to set the background based on the fact that I've watched this 5 times in 2 days and based on a little bit of background research that I wanted to do. So, number one, starting with the fact that if you have not watched this movie, it's all spoilers from here on out. So you have like 5 seconds to close this. Number two, the beginning of the movie starts with Abuela talking to the main character, Mirabel, about how the gift came to be in their family. If you rewatch that scene, you are going to notice that she says to Mirabel, when Mirabel says, well, Abuela, what do you think my gift will be? She says, Mirabel, you're a wonder. It could be anything. Mirabel actually means wondrous one. And I really got caught up looking up what that word meant at first, because like Isabella means gift from God. But Mirabel, I had never really heard before, but M-I-R-A, mirar, mean like to see. I thought early on that her name was a play on words of having vision for the family. And so when I looked it up and realized that she is wondrous, I am so convinced, of course, that she is the gift. She's her own gift. And she is the gift that strengthens and protects the blessing of her family and community. And I am not stepping off of that. I'm not backing away from that. All I'm going to do is try to convince you of the same thing. So, Mirabel actually, number one, if you watch all the way to the end of the movie, Bruno is the person who has vision. Bruno is the person who can see the future, but doesn't see kind of like all the time how everything comes together. And also knows sometimes that those visions aren't fixed. They're prophecies, but you can live in or out of a prophecy based on your interpretation and actions before it happens. And so it's like a lot of the people in the movie, even the self-fulfilling prophecies of like, oh, my fish is going to die. Like, yeah, fish is going to die. Fishes die. Or like, oh, I'm going to have a gut. The one person who's like, and then it happened. Or the priest who lost his hair. Of course, like you were genetically disposed to lose your hair anyway. Like he can see that future, but it doesn't mean that everything is fixed to where you can't do something about it. So with Mirabel's vision, she either what she did or did not do broke or brought the family back together. She's the wonder that creates the foundation. And so when they go on to figure out what Antonio's blessing is, Abuela also introduces that language of like your gift is to benefit and strengthen the family and the community. They all have something that keeps them safe, that keeps the family going, and that benefits everybody. But Abuela, when she prays to her late husband, I think Pedro, about I'm doing something that's protecting the gift. She knows it's going in and out. She wants to know, like, send me something to save it. And at the end, when she is sitting with Mirabel by the water, she says, I prayed to Pedro and he sent me you. So the fact that in that vision, they watch the butterflies go, she is the person in the movie, if you rewatch it, who has butterflies all over her. The candle has butterflies on it. She embroiders butterflies everywhere. All types of imageries of butterflies. She has an embroidered butterfly that she made on her lapel up here. And I think what's so beautiful about that is, and then the enchanted forest, when it first happens, you can watch this more than one time where they show the enchanted forest becoming enchanted, encanto, enchanted. Those mariposas, those butterflies are everywhere. So those yellow butterflies are a consistent theme that flow, where she's the person who has to follow the blessing, and that they follow her, the enchantment returns or strengthens or stays. So what I think is this. Number one, spoiler, I believe that Mirabel, in her wonder, her foundation and her vision for the future, and her vision of how she creates and speaks truth to power, how she helps every single person develop themselves and be their truthful selves instead of the pressure of what they have to be, is her gift. She makes people be true and stick to the roots. She brings people back down to that foundation, the foundation of why we're doing what we're doing: family, joy, love, beauty, the things that are supposed to be to come from the gift, the good and the bad. So then by the end, the strong sister Luisa, even though she's strong, she learns to rest, good and bad. Not shadow side, dark, light side. Which shadow side is not negative. The other sister, Isabel, she learns to make cactuses or in other types of plants that have strong roots and that grow tall instead of just flowers that die. So the flip side of the good and the bad, the dark and the light, or just the different and the same of what she's able to do, she learns to embrace by her feelings. By the end, Tia Peppa, she is embracing the clouds, embracing that she has hail or snow or whatever's happening in the last scene where she's dancing. Whereas Abuela wants them to be steadfastly in whatever they were given and never evolve. And therefore, those gifts can't help the community or help anybody grow in themselves, because everybody else doesn't have that magic. But the magic is helping everybody grow and stay strong and be strengthened as a community. And Abuela holding too tightly onto that is what I think is killing the gift. And so when Tonito, when he gets his gift, when Antonio, when he gets his gift, and they're at the party and she leaves and she continues to say that she's sitting here waiting for the miracle, sitting up in her room, the casita, the house, leads her to a place where something falls and breaks off the foundation, off the structure of the house, and she picks it up and she cuts herself. She breaks. And when that happens, the trickle spread of breaking all throughout the house leads her to understand what was happening. So she chases it, and then it goes straight through. The first thing it hits is her grandfather, Pedro, and then it continues on through the rest of the house. So her understanding that in that moment, even though we could probably understand it more than she did, that there's something related to her that could make or break the foundation, the actual structure of the house. So when everything falls apart, and they have to rebuild. They rebuild as a community with the special things involved with everybody else, not just their gifts, without magic. And they say, and Abuela says about the foundation, it's not perfect, but it's, I don't even remember, but it's ours or something, like we'll rebuild together. Then they say that they made her a knob. Now remember, she embroiders, she makes things out of nothing. She makes things beautiful. She creates visions and pictures and images with her self, with her own mind. They make her the knob and she opens it, and again the whole casita becomes alive with the encanto again. The whole thing becomes enchanted again. I've looked up stuff and I'm trying to find other stuff, and that's why I'm recording this. So she doesn't have a gift. She does not have a gift. She is the gift. She brought the encanto back. She brought the enchantment right back to Casita, and they were stronger than ever by her helping people see themselves. And so what I love is so interesting about this movie is this phrase, speak truth to power, is thrown around a lot in the media, but that actually comes from a book by Walter Brueggemann, and he's a theologian, which a theologian studies religions and people's belief systems. He wrote a book, it's called Prophetic Imagination, and writes about the different ways of prophecy. Not just that it's telling the future, but it's telling visions, ideas, and directions of the future and how things could go. So speaking truth to power is one of the phrases in the book, talking about Moses and different people that had to speak truth to the people in power about what will happen if we don't go in a different direction. And so I really think that Mirabel's whole thing is being able to kind of speak into the future and speak away from us getting out of our mission and out of the foundation of what we're supposed to be doing. It's so beautiful. The scene when the conquistadors come in are pushing them out of the town, in the middle of the movie, not the beginning, of the middle, where Pedro, they're reenacting what actually happened. That song, if you watch the movie in with the captions on that Spanish song in English, it says about being able to sink into those blessings and appreciate being able to construct a future, construir una futura. That is so beautiful. Being able to construct a future the way you want it is a part of that blessing. And that's a part of what Mirabel brings to the family, is vision, is creating foundation, is helping people become their best versions of themselves so that we can move towards the future. Because a gift is just nothing right in its own form. It has to grow and expand and be learned to be used by the person as well as be used for your community in order to be useful. You can't just sit on a gift. I really think we all have gifts. I really, really do. And we just have to learn how to hone them and become our best versions of ourselves so that the world can come alive. And that's a phrase by Howard Thurman. And yeah, there's just so many moments in this movie that make me really believe in everything I just share with y'all. But of course, if you have a different opinion, I kind of want to hear it. I want to hear your different ideas about it. Listen to the words of the songs. If you have to mute, listen to some of the ways that Abuela talks about the future and about how Mirabel doesn't fit into that. And then her parents saying, you don't have anything to prove, you're special all by yourself and everything. Think about the fact that she never had her room dissolved when she touched it, which ignited her room, which was the whole house. And then when she had the door to the whole house, it came back to say that literally she didn't need another room to practice or expand on her gifts, where even Bruno needed the space to have his gifts and contain his gifts. But in the end, when he needed to make a prophecy, they just created a space in another room for him. There are other rooms for you to take your gifts and expand them. You don't have to be where you started. And I so love that. I'm trying to think if there is anything else, but maybe I'll leave it in the comments if I think of anything else. Just know that your gifts don't have to be where you started, and just know that the expansiveness of who you are and what you're supposed to be doing is what can bring other people home and what can bring other people forward, and what can bring people together. So embrace your gifts, embrace your encanto, embrace your magic. And yeah, let me know what you think. Did you come up with anything else? I'm so curious. She actually, if you look at other spoilers online, even her clothes incorporate things from everybody else, her skirt and everything. She's embroidered everybody else's gifts into her purpose and her values. And I'm so convinced I got this right. I'm so convinced. So I don't know. Maybe Lin-Manuel will will reach out to me, but yeah, I don't know. Tell me what you think. Bye.